Well, for the past 15 years, one father has been on a mission to raise much needed funds to tackle a certain aggressive form of a childhood brain tumour. Sadly, there is no cure, but this is exactly what Ren Pedersen is hoping to change. And this week, he has had a very big helping hand from the Rotary Club of Townsville, whose membership director, Tim McKee, is here with me this morning, and also Ren as well, both in the studio. Good morning, Ren and Tim.
Good morning, Jess and listeners, and Mr. McKee, how are you, my friend?
Good morning, Jess. Renoir, how are you? How are you, everyone?
You're great to have you both in the studio. Ren, it's a hard topic, I guess, to discuss, but 15 years ago, just take me back to how the $1 Million Mission started.
It all started when a little girl here in Townsville, a little resident of the Northern Beaches, Jess, started getting small issues. She started tripping, and this led to a few other balance issues, and then her sight went a little bit funny. And local GPs were absolutely perplexed at why this little kid, who was so vibrant, little red-headed firebrand, suddenly started getting, she wasn't all that well anymore. So eventually we were sent to specialists, and she had a scan, and it came back that she had a tumour in her brainstem known as DIPG. And then it turns out that there's no treatments, there's no cures. There wasn't even any research into this particular ailment. So when my daughter passed away 16 months later, and we threw the book at everything to try and keep her alive, we travelled the length and breadth of the country to try and get this done. She lost her life 16 months later, and then I resolved to address this pitiful scenario. So we don't want children and families experiencing this vile ailment. And over the years, the seed funding that we've done has gone on to establish over $56 million worth of international research. And
it's incredible.
So now there's a lot happening, Jess, and we have mercifully, along that path, I've managed to meet fantastic people and fantastic organisations, and none better than Tim McKee and the Rotary Club of Townsville. So we're sitting here today in acknowledgement of their work and their empathy toward families battling brain cancer in Townsville and North Queensland and across Australia today, Jess.
And we'll get to the Rotary's contribution in just a minute, Tim, but I guess over the last 15 years, from where it started, Ren, to not knowing anything, to now 15 years later with the work that you've been doing, we know more?
Oh, absolutely, Jess, and that's why we're sitting here today. After my daughter died, I literally went to the institutions and banged on their door and asked them, why aren't you doing research into this ailment? This ailment kills more Australian children than any other illness, and at that time, 2009, there was zero research happening in Australia. So the first thing we did, I knew families involved who had just lost children. We managed to debulk the tumours from these deceased children. So for the first time ever, that was 2010, for the first time ever, Australian researchers had actual tumour samples to work with. So that's where we started, and then from then, it's actually created a national movement now. Just there are a number of organisations raising money for research around Australia, but the institution that is by far and away making advancements quicker and in a more impactful way than any others, in my experience, is the Children's Cancer Institute. They now have 20 dedicated scientists working on this one ailment that previously there was nothing. So I formed a partnership with the Children's Cancer Institute, Jess. So the money that I raise through Ren's $1 Million Mission and via Rotary and all our individuals and supporters who support Ren's $1 Million Mission, the money goes straight to the scientists, Jess.
Fantastic.
So I'm skipping the whole charity realm. I'm sick of all the, respectfully, all the...
The red tape.
The red tape. I'm just dealing directly with the scientists. It's the best way that I know as a father that I can help save the lives of future kids. And along that path, we're meeting many good people and trying to strike up a march with my little broken drum, I guess, Jess.
Incredible work that you're doing, Ren, and glad to see that those circumstances have changed now and those partnerships have developed. And this week, the Rotary Club, Tim, you've made your biggest ever single donation in your club's history to the $1 Million Mission to help out here. Tell me about when you first got connected with Ren.
Well, I met Ren the day that I joined Rotary, which is a club before mine, and he was the guest speaker. And there's this film of this bloke fishing out of a helicopter, And that was the hook to get us all in to say, who is this bloke? And so, yes, the very first day I went to Rotary, met Ren and found out about the plight of his family and the loss of Amy. And so that was a great colouring. And Ren's been a mate of mine ever since. And I just greatly admire so much what he's done. It's not funny, he doesn't blow his trumpet a lot, Ren, but geez, it's worth it. So, yeah, my time in Rotary started in 2009, and before that I was long-term Apexian. And Ren's had a lot to do with the Apex Club of Townsville too. They've supported his mission with golf days and raised a lot of money to find a cure for DIPG.
You name it, we've done it.
I was just about to say $25,000 was the amount that the Rotary raised, which means it's more than just sausage sizzles, or if not, it was a hell of a lot of sausage sizzles happening.
It was actually in there. It was in Tim's hangover account for Rotary. Yeah. So I managed to convince the board to dish it over to children with brain cancer. So we're keeping in the neurological realm, Jess. No, it's a big thing, as you've touched upon. For an organisation to be brave enough and intelligent enough to give $25,000 to any cause, we tip our hat. And there will be parents out there listening to this and families listening to your show this morning, Jess, who with someone battling cancer or brain cancer listening to this and being inspired by Rotary's generosity, because service clubs play an integral role in our society, and it's fantastic to provide plaques or bench chairs or cars or whatever to affected people, and that's brilliant. But what Rotary Townsville have done is looking at the core. Let's go to the root of the problem and solve this problem, and I think that's very important. And I thank Tim and all the Townsville Rotary members. They're a special group of people, Jess. They really are inspirational people.
Absolutely. And Tim, what were some of the things that you were doing to raise the funds for the $25,000 donation?
Right, well, we do lots of things. Our big fundraiser, Jess, is a 50-50 raffle, where for $50, somebody is going to be lucky enough to win $50,000. We run that raffle once a year, no more than 2,000 tickets sold, so that's a really good fundraiser for us. We clear about $46,000 a year out of that. We run the Burger Bar at the annual show. We do Rotary markets. We run a Melbourne Cup party. We run car parking for the Cowboys, so it all adds up. And last year we were fortunate enough to receive a bequest from Mrs. Santina Stevenson, who died and left our foundation a considerable sum of money, and that's dedicated to cancer causes. That was her wish. She died of bowel cancer. So the first gift we've made out of that bequest is to Ren's $1 million mission. That was unanimous. We were going to do that straight away, and then the rest will follow to the Cancer Council of Queensland and other worthy causes. So a lot of work, and we've attracted that sort of bequest from Mrs. Stevenson's estate because of what Ren said. We're out there trying to help with the root causes, and we help people that have gone through the cracks, but we also like to try and help people stop going through the cracks.
And Ren, where does this put your $1 million mission now with this contribution?
In the midst of a flood crisis and other challenges around our region at the moment, it's a huge step up, Jess. It's very, as everyone knows, your listeners understand, there are a lot of charities out of there doing a lot of things, and it's very hard. I don't know, for some reason it's been challenging for believe it or not, the pediatric cancer realm to get momentum or to get exposure in a very challenging media world. I don't know what it is. It's just hard. This $25,000 will go directly to the scientists at Australia's most esteemed laboratory. The scientists and the researchers working there, Tim, I tell you now, they are the most special people. These people are just folks like us, dedicated to helping children. They want to give these children a shot at life, and we're so grateful for Mrs. Stevenson's bequest. It's ironic though, whenever I hear any other type of cancer or illness, those of us in the DIPG realm, we actually wish our child had that illness. As sort of, I've kind of never said that before. It might sound selfish, but I hear whatever illness you say, you know, obviously breast cancer, the marketing, I'm envious of the marketing for breast cancer. I actually wish my daughter had breast cancer.
Yeah.
I wish she even grew up to experience breasts, you know. So this is sort of, without being too stark, the money that Rotary has given us is going to help these kids get a shot at adolescence and get a shot at life, and we're so grateful.
And I think, you know, any family and any person that's experienced those forms of cancer, especially the ones that are not well known, will understand exactly what you just said, Brendan.
Yeah, exactly. And that all those well-knowns are actually the biggest cohort of cancer itself, Jess, you know. Pediatric brain cancer kills more Australian children than any other illness. You know, it removes more children from the population than anything else. And yet not many people know that, you know. Anyway, Rotary Townsville know that, and they've got behind us, and yeah, we're so grateful.
Well, we're very grateful to both of you for the work that you're doing, for what you're doing in the community and afar. I feel like we could talk for so much longer, but we'll catch up with you both a little later as well. But thank you for joining us. We've got Tim McKee, who is the Membership Director of Rotary Club of Townsville, and Red Pedersen, who's behind the $1 Million Mission. Thank you both.
Thank you so much, Jeff.